What's up, everyone, and welcome to Wayfarers East. And if you're not familiar with this type of format, this is just my vlogging videos, my series, things that I just like to come up to the mic and just sort of talk to you without trying to wiggle the camera too much there. And basically, yeah, I just like to talk about whatever is on my mind. And today we're going to be talking about work, my work in general, and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get started. I have worked, let's see, not quite full-time, but part-time now for 6 months at Casey's General Store. For those of you who do not know what that is a convenience store in the Midwest, I believe. I don't think it's anywhere else besides there. And it's just like any other convenience store. They sell food that's disgusting and that you don't need and makes you fat, and sell you stuff and whatever. It's a convenience store. You fill up with gas and that's it. But one thing I've noticed while working at Casey's is there are a lot of things that really don't make sense when like how I would operate a business, how I would do things. And there seems to be a lot of people who agree with me when it comes to Casey's. They don't really, I guess, take into the account of the specific store. It's more like, oh, we're corporate, so everybody has to do it this way, or everybody has to do it that way. And that's not the case when it comes to, specific stores. Places run differently depending on the environment that they're in, the people that they have drawn in, and whatever. And so it's really frustrating sometimes when we get things down, we do things a specific way, and then all of a sudden our area supervisor walks in and tells us, no, you can't do it like that, you have to do it this way. And the way that she tells us to do it is like, that doesn't even make any sense. And so I guess what I'm trying to talk about today is with work is why we all need to go through the certain stages in our life that we do with work. For most of us, we all started a job when we were 14, 16. You start working as soon as pretty much you're legally able so that you can start earning some money, depending on whatever the life circumstances is, whether we need to help support a family, whether we just want some extra cash to spend on the weekend when we're hanging out with our friends, or save up for college, or whatever it is. You start working at a pretty young age so that you can start making some money. And we all start off part-time. I guess there's a few of us who start full-time. I had a kid in high school who went to school every day and then went to work 8 hours after that. So he'd get done at 11 and then get up in the morning, go to school, repeat cycle. He'd work 40 hours a week while going to high school, which is crazy. But, we all get these jobs and we all work, and they all start off the same way. They all start off working minimum wage at some crappy job that we hate and we can't stand. And I know there are exceptions to every rule. There's some people who are going to be like, oh, I love my job and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's basically that scenario. And so a couple things to keep in mind, and some things that I've learned when it comes to work is work is not about you. When you are working, that job at that gas station, or that job at that fast food place, or that job at that hardware store, just to make minimum wage so you can get a little bit of money to put you through college or to while you're in high school or something. It's not about you. It's not about what you like. It's not what about you're into. It's not about how much fun the work is or how easy it is or how hard it is. It doesn't matter. The point is that when you're working in high school or in college or something along those lines, sometimes we just need to bulk up and do the job because there's greener pastures on the other side, especially with college. Like right now, I'm going to college to be a computer science student. I'm learning how to program. I'm learning how to design websites. I'm learning how to do all this sort of technological stuff. And I hope that when I graduate, I'll get a job in my field. But until then, I have to work at Casey's and basically fight to go to work every morning because I don't like it. And I'm not supposed to like it. It's supposed to be a job, a middleman, a means to an end. when it comes to work. I do not plan on working there for the rest of my life. I do not plan on being 60 years old and still working at Casey's. I plan on quitting there as soon as my schooling is over and I find a different place to move on to. And that's really what I want to talk about today is work doesn't need to be enjoyable when our life is not about us yet. You know, when we finally settle down, we finally get that place to ourselves, we finally work at a job that we love, then we can start really going, you know, I hate my job, I don't like it, I need to do something different. But while we're in school, it's really just stupid when people complain about, oh, my job sucks, I hate my life, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, your job doesn't suck that bad, and if it did, then maybe you shouldn't be working there, but the point is, you don't have to like your job while you're in college or high school. You don't. You just have to deal with it and put up with it, and do the things the best as you can so that you can move on in life. I guess the reason why I'm making this video is mostly because, I've been having a lot of people complain to me lately, personally, in my life, about how hard their lives are and how much they hate their job and stuff. It's like, dude, you're 17 years old. You don't need to like your job. You're not entitled to like your job. You're entitled to do what you're told and get on with your life. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling a little too much here and maybe even contradicting myself while I'm trying to get this stupid light out of my face because the sun decided to show up, but you know, it's just frustrating, I guess. It's frustrating to deal with people who don't understand that life does not need to be handed to them on a silver platter. That life is not about having everything just be easy for you so that you can do whatever the heck you want for the next 50 years. It's about making those hard decisions, doing the things that you don't want to do at first, so that eventually you'll have a great life in the end. And so, yeah, that's basically what it goes with work. I don't think I have anything else to share about that, you know. There are days where I like my job, there are days when I completely hate my job and just want to walk out, but I always got to tell myself to go back because, Lucas, you need the money. You can't live without it, you know, you got to pay rent, you got to buy food, you got to buy yourself whatever you need. And there's nowhere else you can work right now because you don't have the schooling for it. Not yet. And so, that's just my encouragement, I guess, to everybody. Put up with your work because it does pay off. It will pay off. You know, you hear these stories. I actually got another thing I want to talk about now that I think about it. And that's with all this, and I'm going to move my camera here a second. With all this content ID stuff on YouTube and everything, and people saying that YouTube isn't a real job. I am a firm believer that whenever you put 40 hours a week into something and get paid at the end of it, it's a job. You put your hard-earned time, your money, your sweat, your blood, your tears. Saying that YouTube isn't a job is like saying that programming isn't a job. And I call bullcrap to that. I really call bullcrap to that because that's what I want to do. And so, do I think YouTube is a reliable job? No. There's no guarantee that in 5 years it'll even exist anymore. There might be something even newer and greater that comes up and just blows YouTube out of the water. You don't know. And so, but I do think it's a job. I think it's a means for people to earn a living. And then anybody says that YouTube isn't a job should probably get a reality check, because just because you work construction 30 hours a week sitting around wielding a shovel doesn't mean that your job is more important than mine. Not at all. There's a good chance it may be harder on your body, but I guarantee you mine's harder on my brain. And so, yeah. I think that's all there is to it. So, hope you like, subscribe, check me out on Facebook and Twitter, wayfarerseast.com. Without further ado, have yourself a great day.